They say opposites attract. And when Dev and Ops first met, it was as dramatic as any romance novel. Passion, excitement, automation. They had a destination wedding in tropical Ghent and became inseparable. Everywhere you looked, it was always DevOps, but never one without the other. But marriages are dynamic, and over time, little things began to chip away at their relationship. Ops would often complain that Dev frivolously spent the error budget on buggy deploys. Dev said that Ops became boring and routine, and so Dev began experimenting with serverless. Soon, every minor incident would explode into a sub-zero, and eventually, it ended. In 2017, my life kind of imploded. My marriage ended, and so I decided to DevOps my life. I ran a blameless postmortem on my marriage with the notions that by identifying missed indicators and exposing more information and just generally understanding what went wrong, I could improve. So what went wrong? I realized that over time, we had settled into our roles. I was the breadwinner, the moneymaker, and she was largely responsible for the household. And this happens all the time in relationships, and it can lead to priorities drifting and becoming misaligned as each person settles into focusing on their role rather than the relationship or the bigger picture. It also happens in DevOps. I talk to a lot of ops teams that find themselves now becoming the platform team. And over time, you can see their KPIs drift from working with dev teams to ensure that apps are running reliably, to building out platforms that are completely independent of what dev teams are doing. Similarly, I see dev teams shifting from delivering good, consistent user experiences to simply pushing out features, wrapping them in a container and pitching them over the wall at the ops team. I think that there are a couple ways to solve for this. And the first is one that we've been talking about for a very long time, and that's cross-functional teams. When ops folks are embedded into service teams along with developers, it helps align their priorities. But I get it. Restructuring your entire engineering org isn't always possible. So another approach is to regularly work on shared priorities, things like reliability. Reliability is everybody's responsibility. And so I love helping dev and ops teams come together to run game days or failure injection experiments. Experimenting with failure, what we call chaos engineering, often exposes areas where our systems and our applications behave differently than how we expect them to. Learning about these differences helps us understand more about how our applications really operate and adjust how we react to them. The biggest value that I've seen out of chaos engineering has been teams getting better at the incident response process by working together and improving monitoring and runbooks. And this might be the most important lesson that I've brought back into the DevOpsing of my life. Lots of times people won't meet our expectations. They won't do what we thought they would given the circumstances. And this doesn't mean that they're wrong or that they're bad, but it is an opportunity for us to adjust our understanding. Bringing our expectations into line with reality is more productive than trying to get others to meet our expectations. And once we do that, we have a chance to evaluate what triggers our personal alerts and improve our own incident response processes. So take some time to think about your relationships, especially your dev and ops relationship. Think about whether your priorities are in alignment or if they've started to drift. And also consider what you can do to strengthen the alignment. Because ultimately, dev and ops are better together.